I'm on? Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for, we are here meeting for the January 13th Public Facilities Committee meeting. Let's call this meeting to order, and let's ask for the approval of the minutes from last month's meeting, December 9th.
It would be my honor to make a motion to approve the minutes, which were splendidly done, and I much appreciate that.
I'll second that.
Thank you for the first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Great. Thank you very much. Privilege of the floor. If anybody is here and wanting to speak to the Public Facilities Committee, now would be the time to do so. Seeing and hearing none, we will move on with the agenda. Just a note for the committee to get us all on the same page. We have the agenda. If you have the agenda in front of you, I think 9 total items. There are 2 proposed resolutions that we are going to be, that have been withdrawn, not by this committee, but by the sponsors. That's number 3 and number 4, authorizing legislation to permit the discretionary discontinuance and designation of certain select lands for parks and reforestation use in Chautauqua County. That's going to be withdrawn, will not take up. And then number 4, authorize home rule legislation to discontinue the use of certain selected parks and/or reforestation lands in Chautauqua County. It is my understanding we may be seeing those again in the future. We are not going to be discussing those at all with this committee meeting. Number 5, it has a typo which has been given to each of our desks, our spots. So that is that correction is there when we get there, and then we're going to have 2 amendments. That's on proposed resolution number 6. And proposed resolution number 8. We will need a separate motion to amend those before our approval. So a little bit of change this time, and we'll. I think everybody is up to speed with what I have. So no privilege of the floor. Let's just jump into number 1, the proposed resolution to confirm reappointments for the Landfill Commission. If anybody's here for that, we would invite them down.
James Feldman from the County Executive's Office. So we are set to reappoint all but one of the members on the Landfill Commission. The only one we don't have up right now is our large municipal customer, and that is because of a retirement at the BPU, and we're kind of waiting to see who's going to take over in that position and who they would like to have on the commission. So there was one thing I did just catch, though, that the first one, it should be Legislator Daniel Pavlik. It should be his full name, so that should be changed.
Oh, very good.
Does that mean we have to call him Daniel?
I think so. But other than that, so we have all the other ones. So we have the 2 members of the legislature on there. We have our large private customer. We have our representative from the town of Ellery. We have our representative from a community hosting a transfer station, and our waste hauler.
Very good. James, can you tell me again, who are we waiting on? Large
Large municipal customer.
municipal, okay, all right, very good, I appreciate that. Questions, comments on this list?
What is the term? How long do they serve as?
So it'll be, so these ones will expire on the next 12/31 of '26. Sorry.
Okay. So they're not staggered at all?
No,
Okay.
they all expire at the same time.
All right.
Is that a yearly thing or a 2-year thing?
2 years. Yep, so it follows the legislature's term.
All right, very good. Any other questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great, James, thank you very much. Resolution number 2, we are authorizing lease of office space between the Chautauqua County Office for Aging Service and the City of Dunkirk. Hi there,
Hi,
ladies.
everybody. Hi. Dana Corwin, Interim Director of Chautauqua County Office for Aging Services.
Diana Songer, Deputy Director of Finance for Human Services.
Welcome. All right. If you could just give us a brief description or tell us what you recommending here or know of this Go right
Well,
ahead.
We are recommending a lease for the year of 2025 with the Dunkirk City to continue to occupy the space at the Dunkirk Senior Center for the Office for Aging Satellite Office.
All right, very good, very good. Questions, comments?
The rent, has that stayed the same, or has that gone up? Have you seen an increase in that?
It is an increase. Before, it was a quarterly amount, and now it's gone to a monthly amount.
So in total, so
Number-wise,
it's gone up.
$875 per quarter, $850 per month now on this short-term lease. We've anticipated moving into the new space, which is much larger, so it's just for a short period of time now.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Tom. Any other questions, comments thereof? Hearing none, all those in favor of the proposed resolutions, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried.
right,
Ladies, thank you very
thank you.
much. All right, for those following at home, as I mentioned, proposed resolution number 3 and 4, we are not taking at all. So we are moving to proposed resolution number 5, and that is one that had a typo, so the new sheet was sitting at your your spot with typo correction shown in red at the top. Hello there.
Hi, Shannon Fisher, Manager of Airports. I think the typo that was corrected in this one was that the county executive is authorized and empowered to execute a lease agreement. So Steve couldn't be here, but he gave us some edits before he, there the other day.
Yes, thank you for doing my job. You're reading what we're, I just
sorry.
gave it the numbers. So yes, thank you for that.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I appreciate that.
So this one's just, you've heard me ask about it just because we've gotten the public hearing authorized last month, but we already have the DMV at the Chautauqua County Jamestown Airport. They utilize a portion of the parking lot, and this is for a 5-year lease agreement with that same portion, just extending that. And they are aware, as we've discussed in the past, that if there's commercial service to return, that we have to reassess that area, so.
All right, very good, very good. Questions, comments regarding this for Shannon? I know we.
I did want to actually
Yes.
say too, we did add that there's a 2% increase each year. That's what we do with most of the leases with the businesses at the airport, so kept that the same across the board.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you for that. Yes, you're right. We've seen this before, and we're after the public hearing at this point in time. So, anything from the committee at all? All right, those in favor of the proposed resolution to authorize commercial 5-year lease agreement for a portion of a parking lot at the Chautauqua County Jamestown Airport, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. Great. Thank you very much for that. All right, now, once we get there, we will need 2 motions. We were still, one is to, make the amendment. We are to the authorized lease agreement at the Chautauqua County Jamestown Airport Terminal Building. And that was also in a handout given to you at your spot. So
And the amendment
Shannon, if you could
is,
go ahead with this.
Adding the name. I forgot to add the name on here, so it just said Office 43 and not Penn Border Aviation LLC, so that's the
Seeing
portion.
how we're not treating this as a typo, should we just amend it now before we discuss?
That's probably, yes.
I'll make a
that's probably
motion
good.
that we amend this to the copy that we have on our desk in front of us.
All right, thank you, Bob. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been motioned and second to amend this as we have on the desk. Those in favor of the amending, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
All right, Shannon, go
Okay,
ahead.
so this one is new. They came to us right around like Christmas week and asked if they could get office space at the terminal. So this was kind of a quick thing, but they're a light maintenance shop and they are kind of an interesting, instead of having a big base maintenance facility at an airport, they go travel to their folks. So they really just need office space. They're working out something with our FBO for temporary space if someone comes to them in the winter time. But just doing right now 6-month lease to see how it even works out. And then if it doesn't work with the maintenance company we have there right now, if there's any conflict or anything, we'll be done with it. But for right now, everything is good. The FAA allows for competition. You can have two of the same companies at the airport. You just have to offer the same, like we have to, same prices and same, everything has to be equal and fair, so.
Okay, very good. Can you take me a step back and,
Yes.
and describe what this business does? You said so they're using the airport as the base of operations? And they're going
Not-
out and traveling? Is that
Just
what?
for office space, really.
Okay.
And they're gonna have maybe some parts in their office, but they do they travel out of a trailer, basically. And so they go around different airports and
Mm-hmm.
do maintenance to whoever calls them up. And so it's kind of a different business model than what we're used to seeing from maintenance companies. Works for them, they're kind of new. There's two people. So that's why one person does their books and they went to the office, and then the other person does the maintenance on the aircraft, so.
Okay, great.
So it's kind of all trial for everybody, but the space has not been utilized since before I've been there in this office, so even $100 a month.
Okay.
It's not renovated, there's nothing like.
Yeah,
We took Brian Chase's lease because he's the one that's, the only other person that's back there. There are 4 offices, but, and we just divided it out per square foot and kind of did a little less just because it's not really a great office. It doesn't have a nice window or anything like that. It's just a plain Jane office space, but they're fine with it and
okay, great.
excited to be there, so.
Other questions, comments for Shannon?
My question was just gonna be if it was an empty office, and we were told it is.
Yes,
so.
but same thing in their lease. It's where the TSA and the airlines were in the past, so they all know that it gets reassessed.
Okay. Anything else? Committee, how did, they reach out to you?
Yep, they reached out to us and
Just
just
out of
said
the
that- Well, they used to be in maintenance at the current company at the airport. One guy
Okay.
it was, so.
I see.
Yep, so they knew we had
Okay.
space available for an office.
Great, great. Okay, all right, very good. Appreciate that. Anything else, committee? All right, those in favor of the amended resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great. Thank you for that. Our next to last item on the agenda of authorizing a lease agreement for the office suite at the Chautauqua County Jamestown Airport Terminal Building to Chase Aviation Company.
So, again, this is Chase Aviation, same one you've heard about last month, because we were authorizing the public hearing. He's been there at least 3 years now, since I've been there, if not longer. And the only thing we did here was add, he has an area in the garage that he can use, when his aircraft comes in, he's a broker, and then he leaves a vehicle there and utilizes it when he has an airplane gone, so. We added $75 a month to the lease and increased it for 3 years instead of doing a 1 or 2. I think 3 years is when his son graduates, is what he said, so he'd like to at least be here that long. So,
Okay, very good, very good. Questions, comments for Shannon on the proposed resolution? Maybe more of just a general observation now that we have a couple of these in play, even with the next one as well. Who is determining our rental fee, and what is that based off of? Is it based off the location, square footage, all the above, none of the above?
good question. So when I first came on board, airports are required to get fair market value or fair market lease or fair market rent of a place. So we did an actual appraisal on all the office spaces. You've heard me talk about how much the restaurant is worth, which is not how much we're charging, but it's, that's where we got all those numbers from, were from the appraisal. So we took that and the space that Brian Chase was in is the one we kind of had as the number for the appraisal, and we've based the other rents off of that. So
Okay.
it's fair market, it has to be
Yeah,
fair market
okay.
for the FAA. They like to see that we're self-sustaining.
So then these,
Square
our
foot.
rental income gets reported not only here, but to the FAA then as well?
Kind of, I mean, they don't look at the numbers specifically, but they want to make sure that no one, is taking advantage of the airport, and that they're not, for all the dollars that they give to us, that we're not giving it away on the
Okay.
other end, so
Sure.
they kind of make sure that they don't say yes or no, but they look and they're like, well, is it fair market or is it not?
Okay.
And if it's not, then it's like, you want to reassess this, so.
And they're probably really looking if we're favoring somebody
Yes,
over.
they want it to be fair, all across the board. That's part of
Sure,
our grant
okay.
assurances, is that we make sure it's fair, so.
Yeah, okay, good, good. Yes,
Yeah,
Tom?
but how would getting commercial air service back affect that? Would that, I mean, would it make it, would we charge more because you're gonna have more traffic in there, or?
So the space that they're
Would
in
they-
is right behind the ticket counter. It's where the TSA offices and the airline offices are, or were.
Yeah.
And those are the offices that we're leasing out right now. So if commercial service came back, TSA would need those offices
need
and
them.
the airlines would need
Is there any other
the
space for them to move into?
I mean, that's what we've kind of just, were talking about, Brian and I were recently, was maybe if we could turn a conference room or something into office space, or utilize a different area of the terminal, but we really have no other office space other than that. But also, things may be different. A lot of things are electronic now. They may not need their big, some of the TSA equipment that I think they had there, we are still dealing with, like, they had bolted in the ground. They're huge, so I don't know if they even need all of that anymore, but
I don't wanna jump ahead to Resolution 8, but would that, how would commercial air service affect a restaurant, the rental of that? I mean, would that possibly increase what we could get from that, what the county could charge, I guess?
I would hope so. We are already increasing that rent for the year-long lease from what they're doing right now. And the hope is that they're doing really well and we can, go over things and increase it in the future.
Yeah.
But I think the misnomer from the past was that the restaurant and commercial service, that they benefited each other and whatnot.
Yeah.
They both left at the similar time, but for totally different reasons. So, people were not coming up there to fly and sit down and have a meal. Business travelers are grabbing something quick, and,
Yeah.
which is why the last person, that was here had the grab-and-go option. They plan on doing something similar. It will add value to their restaurant, I feel, to have an airline there, but it's not gonna make or break their business. You need to have a good following, you need to market it, and you need to have a good product, so.
Right.
Yep. So I think it can only help. but-
Yeah.
But I
I
don't
would
think,
think,
people from the community were really coming up and having dinner, and it wasn't necessarily the travelers.
Right, okay.
And we're gonna get pretty close to March of 2026 before, if and when, the essential air service wouldn't be a decision and 10 days later, we're into that business. It's gonna take months to get that in place, so by the time everything goes through, this lease is gonna be
Established.
established, and the terms of it are March 1st of 2026, so that'd be a time that we could reevaluate. You see what I'm
For the
saying?
restaurant March,
For the
yeah,
restaurant,
yes, a
yes.
year, and, yes, agreed, yep.
I'm just saying, if everything went forward, we got an essential air
Yeah.
service.
We could
It's
have at
only gonna be a
least,
few months,
yeah,
if there was a big benefit, that,
we could tell
Yeah.
there was an uptick to their business.
we had that
or
considered
whatnot.
though in the lease terms.
I just
Nice.
think because they left at similar times, it's always been,
Right.
with one or the other, and they really are completely separate birds, so, two different
Yeah,
businesses.
good education, I wasn't aware of that, so.
Yeah.
Restaurant closed and we lost our essential air.
No, that is not the case.
All right, very good. Any other questions, comments on the proposed resolution? Anybody seeing, hearing none? Those in favor of the proposed resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. Great. All right. Our last one,
Still here.
yes, is a proposed resolution which needs to be amended, titled Authorized Public Hearing for Lease of Restaurant Facilities at Chautauqua County Airport, Jamestown, Basil and Bones. So
I'd like
that,
to Make a
Perfect.
motion that we amend it using the copy that we have in front of us on our desk.
And
tonight.
just so you know, the only change was the ink at the end. That was it's their official business name.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
very
It
good.
was Basil and Bones is
Okay.
what we had on file. It's Basil and Bones Inc.
Okay, very good. Appreciate that. Well, there is a motion to amend. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. And all in favor of making the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great. All right, Shannon, so let's talk about this one.
So I know we were just here for the 6-month lease. That was their catering and whatnot. They're in. We finally got the, thanks to Blake and finance and everybody, we got ARPA funding and we have all the equipment in. We've got the freezer repaired. They're ready to go. They've done a couple catering events out of there right now. So that's good. They did a couple Christmas parties and whatnot. But they're in Florida. I think I told everyone that till April-ish, and then they're gonna come back and start their business around then. They said, I think in a few weeks, they're gonna have people coming out to try to renovate some small things, like they wanna have an Italian restaurant and make it look a little more rustic out there, so. So we did, and we had talked about this in the beginning, just because that was more catering space, was it would be a lower rent, and then this for the next year would be up to $250 a month to $750 for right now, which is the same as what we were proposing to the previous restaurant that was in there before, the catering company. And then after that, then we, sit down with them, see how they're doing, and if in the future we decide to increase it, that's great. I think fair market value is $2,800 a month. I mean, if they were doing absolutely amazing, cool, but that's also kind of a lot to ask, to start out up there.
Let's hope.
Let's hope, right?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bob. So this is just proposing 1 year, and, in hopes that that's just the start of them getting going up
Yeah,
there.
great, great. And this is just us authorizing the public hearing,
Oh, yeah.
Or
For
our-
that, for the
yeah.
lease, yeah.
the proposal.
So you get to hear me again, talk about it again.
We'll,
next
we'll,
month.
we'll probably talk about it again, yes, yes, exactly. Questions, comments on this one, first time through? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor of the proposed, proposed amended resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Great. Shannon, thank you very much. I appreciate, do you have anything else
That's
for
it.
us?
Thank
Okay.
you. I
All
do.
Can I
right.
ask you a question real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
Sure.
As long as you're here, what is the next step in essential air service?
Yep.
What should happen?
So right now, we're talking to the DOT about the proposal. It has to be, spot on. So we're having discussions with them and airlines right at the moment, which is what we presented on, last month in the meeting, was that these are the next steps. So it's to apply for funding. I'm hoping that the essential air service application can be in within the next month. So we're really working on that right now. And then if that's not, something that gets approved, and we are also working with local businesses and to make sure we have a backup, option for funding, because we do have interest in having an airline there right now. So it's something that we're hoping happens sooner than later. We just need the funding in place, right now. So
Does the resolution have to come from the legislature, or would that be
the resolution for the airline,
to request essential air service? I mean, is that something?
If everything went forward, would it just happen, or does it have? to-
Yeah, I
Or
think-
at some point,
no, I
would
think you guys
the legislature
approved-
have to?
you approved the study for us to do
Yeah.
essential air service, so.
And the application.
I mean, yeah, so that is, EAS is the application to put in there, again.
Okay.
That's the one we did, the previous one I started, and
Mm-hmm.
it was denied twice. We're in a different scenario right now. One time it was denied because of the location to a medium hub airport. Buffalo is no longer a medium hub, they're a small hub. So that allows us to have more eligibility in the program. We were in the past, so that also allows eligibility in the program. And then, hopefully, they will fund the whole amount instead of having to get subsidized costs like the second application did last time. So to go out to the community last time. If not, there's also a SCASD grant, which is the Small Community Air Service Development Grant, and you can look up Williamsport, PA. Right now, they just did a SCASD grant and worked with their community on offsetting those costs to get an airline in there, and their route is doing amazing. So there's a lot of good things happening. I think when the EAS was taken away from us and also the smaller airlines were taken away from some smaller communities, they're realizing, you know, that the importance and the value to the communities having these airlines there are, and people don't want to drive an hour and a half or 2 hours to get to an airport. So they're reinstating it at some airports, and I'm hopeful that ours is one of them. So.
Thanks.
All right, very good.
Good.
Anything else for Shannon? Thank you very much, Shannon.
Thanks.
Anything else from any members of the committee? Hearing, seeing none, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.